didn't scrape the so-called Khufu hieroglyph at all. They did take some tiny fragments of paint from other hieroglyphs in the upper relieving chamber above the king's chamber. There's actually very little evidence which ties the Great Pyramid to the period of 2500 BC, except for that one hieroglyph, that one inscription in the relieving chambers. And that inscription purports to carry the name of Khufu, the pharaoh who supposedly built the Great Pyramid in 20 years of his reign. The possibility has been considered for a long time that hieroglyph is a forgery. This idea was explored extensively by Zacharias Sitchin in his books. And Howard Weiss, the British explorer who discovered that inscription, had strong motivations to forge it. He needed a discovery. One of his craftsmen was seen going in and out with paint. There are orthographic problems in the inscription itself, which it seems to mix up 2 or 3 different periods of ancient Egyptian writing. It really does look like a forgery. And it's in plain view. It could have been forged in the 19th century. And I think that's what the Germans were interested in finding out, but they didn't actually sample the hieroglyph itself, which complicates the problem. What I found in the relieving chambers, which I did find convincing, was that if you go and shine a bright light into the gaps between the blocks, you can see that hieroglyphs do actually continue back into the gaps between the blocks. They're very simple, basic hieroglyphs. They look like very old kingdom hieroglyphs. And they do go back into a place where no forger could reach. So I think, in my own view, is that the Great Pyramid, the completion of the Great Pyramid, the work on the King's Chamber, was done during the Pharaonic period, was done during the Old Kingdom. But I think it's possible that it doesn't have to have been done by Khufu. I think it's possible that the hieroglyph is a forgery, that one, but others could not have been forged. Well, the Germans have been. There's a whole series of issues and problems involving Zahi Hawass, who was the once and future king of Giza, the Director General of the Giza Plateau, Minister of Culture, this and that, got into trouble when Mubarak fell because his main sponsor was Susan Mubarak, the wife of President Mubarak. He's Teflon man, Zahi, nothing sticks to him, and he's looks like he's getting back into power now. And he made a big fuss on the internet about this hieroglyph, about how the Germans had stolen the hieroglyph, and about how Robert Bauval had hired them to do that, which is all complete rubbish. But it may cover up other damage that was done to the hieroglyph at a certain period, perhaps, by the Egyptian authorities themselves. It's a very murky, messy, unpleasant story. But if those German guys go back to Egypt, they're going to go to jail. That's how it stands at the moment.
Good.